This is happiness, to be everything at once. Be unblinded, be unlearned, be unbridled and unburned.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to a brand new episode of Mood Prep. My name is Dave Nixon, and welcome to the start of the week, those of you that are tuning in on Monday. I shared a quote on Instagram, surprise, yet again, at DDNix if you haven't found me yet. And I thought it's worth starting the week off. I mean, Mondays is quite typical. I remember sharing a post ages ago that said, hating Mondays is a shit way to spend 1/7 of your life. And I'm still all for that. Hey, like Monday is just this idea of a calendar. I think it's time to sort of chuck that shit out and recognize that every single day that we live is an opportunity to just do something that we find valuable and purposeful for us. Mondays are no fucking different. And if chances are Mondays aren't the problem, hey, it's probably your job. And another way to think about job is just over broken. So this is why I speak so much about purpose and doing stuff that we fucking want to do with our life, because it gives us the ability of choice. Sometimes we live under the illusion that we don't have choice of what we want to do with our life. And of course, there are some things where we don't have choice, but there's definitely things within our circle of power that we do have a choice with, and that being one of it. So the quote that I shared, and I think I got this from the Renaissance Periodization RP client group on Facebook. Somebody shared it, and so I stole it from there. And it says, if you quit now, you'll end up right back where you first began. And when you first began, you were desperate to be where you are right now. Keep going. I mean, the fucking key thing there is and it's just something I'll keep reminding everyone, and something that I keep reminding myself, like, keep fucking going. And there's a reason why I say keep going instead of don't stop, right? When I say keep going, it tells us what we want to focus on. When I say don't stop, it tells us what we want to focus on. When we say don't stop, I put the idea in your mind of stopping, then not to do that, right? It's a double negative, so to speak, is one way to think about it, but it's a shift away. If you're a coach, if you're a trainer, stop telling people not to stop. Don't fucking stop. Don't quit on me. None of that shit. It's keep going. Keep going. You've got it. You can do it. You're getting there. That language there is such a big difference. It does make a difference. Now, if you have somebody that you know is more of what's called like a mismatcher, it's just like, look, you got a choice to quit if that's what you want to do. That's a challenge, right? That's a big difference as well, because some of us need challenges like that. It's crucial, but at the core of it, the message is the same. It's keep going. No matter what, keep going. Now, it's interesting. I posted this, and one of the girls had a comment on it, and she kind of said that, and I agree with her, that no matter what, you kind of never end up at the same place you started at. And that's true. What I want to point out here is that the message is for the people that quit. Wait another 18 months, 6 months, 12 months, 24 months, and then try again. Of course, you're not going to be in the same position, but you're not in the position that you wanted to, because the real work on any fucking goal that we have, business, fitness, strength, weight loss, or whatever, the real work starts when the results slow down. Because that's when everyone quits. The real work starts, and there's a fucking big bell curve period where, like, it's easy to give up. And if you get through that, period, then you keep your results for years, for your lifetime. That you get through, it's like a fucking bottleneck. And if you just keep going through that, you break through. And breaking through, it just rains what you're searching for. Because what you're seeking is also seeking you. You just have to be the individual that fucking deserves it, hey. And in order to do that, we've got to do the work for such a long period of time. A long period of time. Constantly listening to people that talk about they've been doing it for 15 years, 20 years, 30 years, whatever it may be. And so this is one of the things that I really remind you, especially if you're in your 20s, like, just be in your 20s. It doesn't mean go out and party. You can if you want, but it means just be where you're at and be really good at that. Don't try and be someone who's got 30 fucking years of experience. Pay attention to being the individual that you are today and giving the quality of whatever the fuck you're doing today. Right? Be there, because that's so important, because that's going to give you the experience to have it for 30 years, 20 years, 15 years, whatever it may be. So the big thing here is that you will end up back where you began. Maybe you're not the same mindset, right? But objectively, you'll end up where you began. So keep going. Keep moving forward. When you sign up for something that you want, you're going to get challenges. And the challenges are tests to see whether you really want it. And when you succeed in those tests, you up level, right? And you get to move on to the next test. See, the challenge, the positive thing about being successful is that the person has gone through so many tests and has overcome them. It doesn't mean that they didn't fail to begin with. They potentially did. But over time, they were able to overcome that challenge, because it doesn't matter how many times you fail. And this is why, because if you keep working it out, keep working it out, keep working it out, keep working it out, you get to learn and then earn that level of knowing, of being, of doing, whatever it may be, of having, doesn't matter. And so when we come up against challenges or hurdles or whatever it may be, they're not there to stop you. They're there to test you. Challenges are not there to stop you. They're there to test you. Do you fucking really want this? Right? If so, you got to figure it out, because we're not going to give it to you. We're not going to hand it. You can have it, but you have to earn it. We're not going to hand it to you. Whatever it is, right? Whatever it is, it doesn't matter. And so breaking through and getting that takes years and persistence and resilience and change, right? We can't want to be the same and want something different, because if everything was the same, then we would just have what we have now. We have to let go of some things, some people, some old frames, family, doesn't matter who it is. There's things that if your soul is calling for something, then your current world has to change. And I know there's some of you out there right now that as I'm talking about this, there have been things and conversations with people that you've been avoiding, hoping that they just come around and figure it out and come along for the journey and everything will be fine, and it's not going to fucking happen. Your test and your challenge is staring you in the face and you're avoiding it, and that's why you're upset. That's why you're struggling. Our ability to turn towards that we find difficult actually allows us to move towards which we want. And that's a powerful thing, hey, because what we find difficult is actually a beacon of like, hey, fucking figure me out and you get to level up, right? Rather than avoiding it. And when we don't avoid it, right? Because think about the word avoid for a second. When we avoid something, we create a void. There's a big gaping void. So when we avoid something, we create that void, and that's the void between where we are and where we want to be. We need to move towards the things that we avoid to close that off, to break through, because on the other side of fear is freedom. So what do you fear? And whatever you fear, move towards that. And when you move towards it, you realize the fear was in your mind. You've been suffering in imagination. Doesn't mean you won't shake. Doesn't mean you won't tremble. Doesn't mean you won't slip up. Doesn't mean you won't stumble. You'll do all those things. That's part of the recipe of success. Whatever success is for you, whatever you deem it to be. But success is not avoiding. See, the opposite of courage is not cowardice, it's conformity for the sake of conforming. On that note, team, I am done. Thank you very much for tuning in. If you did find this podcast beneficial, it would mean the world to me if you'd pass it on to a friend or 5 friends that you think, or a group of people, if you're in a Facebook group or whatever, you think would really benefit from this. Now, keep in mind, I still have my Mood Prep seminar coming up in Sydney on the 21st and 22nd of September. It's about 6 weeks away, and there are still early bird tickets. We're on to the second phase now. 2 for 1's gone, but you're still going to get about 33% off your ticket. It's about $100 saving or something like that. I think it's up for $247 at this stage. Maybe $297. I don't know. Double check. Either way, you got to check it out. It's a 2-day seminar. We're going to go through a heap of developmental models. What you're going to get from it is basically an understanding of all of your egoic structures that get in the way of you doing what you want to do, how to get through that, and how to move towards your potential. On that note, though, I'm done. If you haven't already, join the group, Mood Prep Community on Facebook. Otherwise, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace and pizza. Kick today in the dick and slay the dragon. I'll see you soon.
To be everything at once, be unblinded, be unlearned, be unbridled and unburned.